on
Hello. 100 important GST judgment. અવાજ કેવો આવે? Visit blog cnitinpathak.blogspot.com. Contact nitinmpathak@gmail.com. WhatsApp number 9825804094. GST session on block credit ITC attachment of the property search and SEZ refund cancellation of GST number 4.
पहले रिकॉर्डिंग क्या है, रिकॉर्ड इन दिस कंप्यूटर, ठीक है. Now we are going to hide the video panel. Okay. You check it on some computer. કોઈ બે મોબાઈલમાં જોઈ લો બરાબર આવે. ઓકે, પેલા કહી દેજો ને, પછી મને ઇન્ફોર્મ કરી દેજો. મિનિટ. આવતું નથી. આ કનેક્ટેડ છે કે નહીં? ડાઉન કરો તો આવતું નથી. ઓકે, ઠીક છે. Now, friends, this is an important judgment of GST sequel 4. This I would choose 100 judgment, and all these judgments are very important, which makes things very clear. And because of this, you will be able to understand the, there are issues coming up. ITC not allowed on the basis of someone has someone's number is cancelled, and you are not, now you are supposed to ask them make the whole payment, which is not required, which is not possible. So these are the way the things have been handled by them. And what I'm asking, when you go through this presentation, you'll be able to understand that it is not always the department with high handedness, and we fear unnecessarily. And when you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you remain wrong. When you're right, you must you must put your hand on that. That is what, when you conclude this, even in the case of uh, come and arrest you, there are certain provisions which they have no right to arrest it. And even so, when you go through this whole presentation, which I'm going through the sequel, you find that GST is not a problem. It's as simple as, and government is also cooperating with fully. With this, I'm going ahead. My intention is that GST is as simple as that. Only you need to apply systematically. You need to file return in time, everything in time. Whenever you don't have an ITC which you need to reverse it. You just claim it. So there are only one thing which I'm saying: 100 when you make a purchase, 100, 99 or 18, 118. When you sell it, 200, 18, 18, 36, whatever you paid, block credit, reverse charge mechanism, and certain forms you need to fill it up. And once you do this, for to further this, I am going to take around 100 judgments. So it may take around 10 to 15 lectures. And this is the fourth one which I am taking. Here in this talk, I am going to cover the procedural aspect. In income tax, there is 143.1, 143.1A, 143.3, 148, 256, 257, and all the procedures. The same is here. And in one of the cases which I am going to discuss, there were so many aspects go to High Court. 100 presentation made by them, by the department. 100 presentation made by this, and still court dismisses because there was a procedure aspects. And that's why I taken a procedure. Section 73, 74. One more section I have taken is called attachment of the property. They cannot attach your property in certain cases. For that, I have explained 83, section 83, 122, and certain procedures, forms are provided. that forms needs to be followed. Then ITC also is not always unavailable to you. Once you see that once at the time of filing return, suppose I give one simple example. I have purchased a goods. I have purchased through eBay bill. I had a goods receipt. I have a goods receipt truck number. There is a signature. It come into my stock and I sold the stock and that is also available. And at the time of filing return, at the time of filing, my ITC was available on the portal of that, and all the records are documented that I paid them check. So at the later stage, he filed to be a dummy. He doesn't have the uh, क्या बोलते हैं, his number is cancelled and his क्या बोलते हैं, POB is not there, place of business is not there, but still I'm entitled for search and seizure expense, seizure expense, cancellation of GST in certain cases. Still, you will be entitled for that. That is all I've examined qua these things. Now I'm going to take first case in the procedure aspect. There is a section 73, 74, red with rule, red with rule 120, red with rule 142. In income tax, there is a different provision. Here, there is a statement. Statement is on the basis of information available with the department. They will issue a statement. On the basis of that, they would provide an opportunity either to accept or make the payment, or you can make a statement of your in form. Then they issue SCN. When on the basis of SCN also there are certain provision is available, and there is a DRC 1145, and then the order is passed. In case of a willful, in case of a no willful, no fraud, no willful misstatement or suppression of fact, there is a provision of Section 73. If it is done, you have a penalty provision, which I have also covered in this lecture and this talk. And anyone who has a query regarding this, they can email me and they can do WhatsApp me, and there is a blog. These all these things are available. Okay. So to this, I start with the provision of Section 73, 74, and this thing. There is a judgment over it. With this, I'm going to have a talk on CTC planning and investment option X630 next next Saturday on the same subject, CTC tax planning and investment option. And 6th April, I'm going to tell you how to perform in work area. So what is that? You need focus on not noise around the bosses and this thing. You focus on the delivery of the performance and how you can focus, how you can ongoingly do that. That is I'm providing. One more thing, talking about my Pradeep Mukherjee, my guru, my mentor. Now he himself, people call him as a Pradeep sir. His book, Message from God, is there. It's a wonderful grace of God is available to this human being in these days. You use it. These things are available on portal alak.com. In my portal, my blog also. These are the things available. So you can use this also with this. Uh, okay. So this 23rd, 30th, 6th April in alak.com, or in my blog you go to that technology or grace of God, the message of messenger from God. The book is available. You just buy the book of rupees 60 physically. It's also available in on Amazon also. You just buy it and read it. It's wonderful to have it in this journey where grace of God is everything. With this, how to outperform in work area, that is what I am going to talk on 6th. Now, this is a case where modern insecticides were raided twice, their papers are taken, and in spite of all the proceedings which lasted for 2 years, but still, because of this procedure 73 and 74 were read with rule 142 not followed. Hence, the whole case was dismissed, and GST department has to pay money back to him. This is the section. This is the procedure I'm explaining you in detail. It's a very lengthy one. The step would be statement, SCN, and order. There are three steps. The statement is given to you. Statement on the basis of information available with them, the department will issue a statement. And after statement, you have been provided with an opportunity either to accept by paying the DR3, or you just protest, or you just write down the answer. After that, for whatever payment done by you on DRC3, they would issue DRC4, and on the basis of the remaining thing, they would issue SCN again. On the basis of SCN, before issue of SCN, you can again pay through DRC3, and whatever left, you will be again served with the notice and SCN. Then after SCN, the order would be passed. If order is passed within 30 days, you make a payment. In case of 73, there is no penalty. In case of 74, there is a penalty. This is the way. There are three stages: statement, SCN, and order. 73 means there is no misstatement, no willful misstatement, no fraud, nor suppression of fact. In 74, there is a penalty because you have done three things: fraud, willful statement, and suppression of fact. So there are 73, 74, 142. With this, I'm going on to that. In this case, which I have represented, which I'm going to discuss, Modern Insecticide Limited, the procedure under Section 74 was followed. Hence, the court asked the department to give money back with interest at the rate of 6%, and they have been empowered to do that. And there are limitation of time in case of 73 and 74 is quite different, which I'm going to discuss in detail right now. And I have worked on this now. Now I am on tack, tack. Okay, this is the one. So first, there is a provision: self-assessed tax or any other amount computed as per tax has not been paid. On the basis of information available with the department will issue a notice under DRC 1A, DRC Part A of DRC 01A. So what will do? Communicate the discrepancy to tax practitioner under Rule 142 1A to the taxpayer by the department. And then under Section 73(5), taxpayer pays the tax with interest and penalty under DRC 3. DRC 3 means you accept what is informed in Part A of DRC 01A. And once you make the payment of that, which say for example ABCDE, you accept ABCD, ABC, then you pay the DRC, and then they would accept your payment under DRC for Rule 142 2. This provision is related to Section 73 because there is no penalty coming in. Once you accept this on DRC 3, DRC 4, no SCN will be issued to you for the liability. A, B, C, there are A, B, C, D, E, you accepted ABC, so there would not be any SCN would be issued for the purpose of ABC. 73(1)(11). However, penalty under Section 73(9), that is 10% of tax liability, also becomes payable. If whatever this 73(9) means, what is 73(9)? Whatever you not accepted under ABC. Okay. So, however, the penalty under will be become payable. 73. The proper officer shall, after considering the representative, if any made by the person shall determine the tax penalty interest penalty equal to 10% or 10,000, whichever due from such person and issue an order. So, for the purpose of D and E, they would issue a notice under Section 73(11) for the purpose of this thing. 73(9). 73(9) means A, B, C, D, E. You have been given a notice, you are given a statement, and you have accepted ABC, but you did not accept it with D and E. So they will issue a notice under Section 73(9), and on the basis of you have to pay minimum 1,000, or 10%. Suppose, let me give an example. For Dean E, you are liable to pay for tax up to rupees 2 lakh. Then 10% of that comes 20,000. You have to pay 20,000. Suppose it comes to 80,000. Then 10% of that is 10%, 8,000. But whatever is higher, you have to accept, you have to pay around 10,000. Now, 7311 is clear. 7512 to 74, section 7512. If any of such self-assessed tax remain unpaid, either wholly or partly, and the same shall be recovered under section 79. 79 is a recovery proceeding. So what they're saying, ABC, you have paid, you have made a payment of DRC in DRC 3, that would be accepted. But if anything which you are liable to pay and not been paid, then you are liable to pay under section 79, and it will be that. Notwithstanding, I'm reading 73.1, 73.11. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 6 or 8, penalty and instructions shall be payable for amount of self-assessed or the amount collected has not been paid within 30 days from the due date of payment. So even if notwithstanding containing section 6 or 8, what is section 6? 6 is saying the proper office on receipt of such information shall not serve a notice. So there is a statement in ABC is done, so he will not issue a SCN for the purpose of ABC. Clear? So I'm going back, I'm going next. Disputed tax liability. So now D and E left. Okay. So D and E, as per rule 142(2)(a), D and E, he would reply in the part B of DRC 1A. So disputed liability reply to be filed by TP. On 73.7, SCN to be issued for a short period amount or in terms of section 73.1 to be issued for short paid amount. So D and E, he would be issued a show cause notice. Before show cause issue notice, under section summary, before issue of show cause notice, what he will do? He will do in DRC 1, a summary would be uploaded. 73.3 means statement served for subsequent period. Now whatever is concluded in 73.1, 73.3, which is not covered, it will be added here. Statement to be substituted to be served on this thing, and on the basis of summary of essay to be uploaded, summary of statement to be uploaded on portal DRC 1. So there is a text amount, and there would be a statement. Whole detail would be provided in DRC 1, DRC 1 and 2. DRC 1 is per rule 142(1)(a) SN to be uploaded on the portal by the department, and they will give you a summary, and whatever left which should have been not covered in the ABC for qua period or cas certain things, they would be added under section 73.3. Now I'm coming under 73.8. If interest paid within 30 days of the notice, no penalty would be payable after the statement of issue. And now before serving SCN, if you pay some money, first is before statement, okay, and now before SCN. Now 73.8 says what 73 when any person eligible to tax under section 1 and 3, it takes along with the interest within 30 days of issue, within 30 days of the issue of so-called notice. Okay, no penalty shall be levied if before the issue of SCN, if tax, no interest would be paid. 142(3), order concluding the proceeding to be issued. DRC 5 will be issued. Before issue of SCN, they would issue order concluding the statement. First, before issue of statement, then before issue of SCN, then before issue of order. Okay. Order concluding proceeding to be issued under DRC 5. A representation of an answer is to be given rule 142(4) in DRC 6. In SCN, by the time if you decided to make the payment, you can make a payment at DRC 3. So, the order to be issued determining the interest penalty is 73.910 to tax paid whichever is higher. Now, this is question with our friends. Summary of order to be uploaded on portal. So, when you've been issued DRC 1A, so it's like this. The order is made, you made a payment under DSC before issue of SCN, you made a payment or your answer is concluded. So A, B, C, D, E. At the statement stage, you accepted 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. Okay. Then at the 73, they may issue F and Z. Now you choose to make a payment of you answer, you made a payment E. You give an explanation which is accepted. Now G remains. Now G order would be uploaded. The summary of order to be uploaded on portal DSC 7. Above order to be issued within 3 years. What is the time period? Suppose financial year 22-23. What is the due date of filing AR? December 2023. Now, before the end of 2026, they are supposed to issue a penalty notices. They are issued notices within 3 months before that. Okay, above with this thing. Okay. Now, previously I contacted on suppression of fact. Now I'm going to no suppression of fact. When this is 74, 74 is only for the purpose of section determination of tax, short paid, determination of tax not paid, short paid, innocent defrauded, input tax credit wrongly well utilized for the reason of fraud, willful misstatement, and suppression of fact. So now matter is related to. So now every stage there would be a penalty. I am let's go like this. Communicate to the discrepancy of TP. And rule 142 1A DR part A of DRC 0101A. There would be a notice will be shut. Communication would be done made to them. So when communication is made at 74.5, the person or taxpayer may choose to make a payment, say A, B, C, D, E. He choose to make a payment of A, B, C at the rate of 15%. Penalty would be payment. DRC 3.1 would be uh, issue. DRC 3 he make a payment. And proper officer, after considering the acknowledgement, he would issue DRC 4 for the purpose of 74.6 ABCD, whatever he has paid, no SCN will be for the issue of admitted liability. Next. Now comes now what is remaining? D and E. For D and E, disputed tax liability reply to be filed by the taxpayer on part B DSC 101A. He would give the reason D and E. These are the things which are left pending. 74.7. SCN to be issued for a short paid amount in terms of 73.1, demanding 100% penalty. Now, DNE, he is supposed to be 100% penalty, notice will be issued. Again, summary of that would be uploaded on portal as per rule 142.1A by DRC 1. So whatever left D, E, E, F, D and E, F, he will inform that. And 74.3, statement to be served for subsequent period, where whatever left under section 73.3 for certain things left on the notice or for subsequent period, this would be added here after DRC 1. Summary of statement would be uploaded in portal under DRC 3. 1 minute. Okay. One rule 142 1B, the summary would be uploaded. DRC 3, details of tax to be paid, the reason and summary would be provided in DRC 3. Okay, DRC 2. Now, if you accept, you again make a payment in DRC 3. If taxpayer 74, if taxpayer pays the penalty with interest at 25% before, so there is a stage called statement now coming SCN. Now he can choose to make a payment before SCN. The order concluding the proceeding to be issued under DRC 5. If you make a payment in DRC 3, DRC the order SCN order would be concluding the proceeding would be issued. The representation of TP. When they pass in, they give you a pre-order of SCN. He has the right to make a representation under DRC 6. So before that, he make a payment or he can use the argument. So A, B, C, D, he played in the first instance. E and F, G and H is added. E and F, he make a payment. and F and G he gives an answer. So whatever remaining is would be issued, order would be issued on uploaded on DRC 7. Summary of order to be uploaded. The order to be issued before how much per period should be issued? In case of suppression, fraud and misstatement, it would be 5 years. So on 31st March 2023, so 31st March 2023, I have to file a return before 31st December 2023. If there is a misstatement, fraud, and this thing, it has to be done before 31st December 2028. Now this is the time limit. Now, if I erroneously got refund on the date on which I got refund, at the end of the month there would be 3 years, 3 years, and 5 years would be considered under section 73, 74. Clear? Yes, no? Now this is the process. DRC 1, DRC 3, let me go again. Whole cases. So this is one. First, they will issue notice Part B, Part A, DRC 1A, DRC 3 if you accept make payment, they would issue DRC 4 for accepting the payment. Then again DRC you just reply under Part B of DRC 1, they would issue DRC 1, DRC 2. After that you make a payment. After that, first is a this is pre-order pre-statement statement. This is before SCN. This is after before an order. So there are three stages: order, SCN, and a statement, SCN, and order. Now, what is the penalty? Penalty would be as under. In case of 70, there is no payment except 10% or 10,000, whichever is higher. In case of 74, misstatement, willful misstatement, 15% of tax amount before SCN, 25% issue before statement, 25% uh, uh, within 30 days of SCN, and then after within 50 days, 30 days of order, 50%. If you don't pay within 30%, within 30 days of order, 100%. 15%, 25%, 50%, 100%. This is a provisional penalty. Now I have given you here the whole section. I don't think that will serve you. So I'm not going to talk 73. I'm not going to read it. Okay. Because I already discussed here roles, this. Okay. Like second, 73, 73, 73, 9, 74 regarding this. I'm not going to cover this. Demand notice, 142 rules are said. Okay, I'm not going to read because I've already covered in this slide. So I don't want to go there. Now I'm going to this modern insecticides limited versus CGST. In this case, department raided this person twice, and he has been uh, asked to pay twice, and this thing. Okay, so I'm going to case wise now. The petitioner has taken a plea to the High Court under Section 16. Red 16 means ITC. ITC, what are the document you need in ITC? You made a purchase 100, 16, 9, 9, 18. So now you have got an invoice in your hand, you have got a eBay bill in your hand, you have got a goods receipt in your hand, you have got a debit note in your hand, your goods are delivered to your hand, you have a truck number, and it goes into factory or a trading, and you sold the goods, which is in your hand, you paid the GST. Now there is no problem. These are the way 16 and 36 are the rules that is available on. The ITC under CGST is principally same under SENVET and excise duty with SENVET credit rule 2004. SENVET credit recognize only two stages. First, so this person was under SENVET also. In SENVET there are two stages allowed, but here in ITC there are no limit. So this petitioner is a manufacturer of pesticide for more than 30 years and is purchasing inputs of manufacturing. The petitioner is selling the product domestic market as well as export, but his export is always, if you look at 16, 17, 57 crore, 107, 120, 127 crore, he is mainly into export. When this is a size of business more than 30 years, he must be mostly genuine. Okay, not always. On the roll of GST on 1st July 2017, petitioner migrated to GST and started paying CGST, uh, CGST, PGST, and IGST. The petitioner exported goods worth more than 128 crores and average export of more than 3 years more than 125 crore. After the introduction of CGST 1819, 19, 20, 21, it purchased goods worth rupees more than 8.5 crore and cleared finished goods approximately 380 crores. Domestic sale is negligible and export is very substantial. At the time of purchase of input, petitioner paid value of GST to the supplier who had their monthly return shown and the goods are available with him. The supplier filed online return. The petitioner has placed before the record to the High Court that he has good supported by e-way bill. When as and when goods are moved in a truck, goods is there. As a every receipt is a receipt of receipt GR copy on 5/3/20, on 5th March 20, the officer of the sponsor the affected premises and seized all the documents. They have taken away all documents in March 20. Why this section 73, 74 and 142 is important is in this context. He has been searched and paper were taken and responded without counting the stock lying in the tank. They have asked him to pay GST of rupees 35, 34 lakh for the artificial shortage. Under the pressure from this was in a white dated 7th March 2020. They have been asked to deposit 34.4 crore through electronic ledger and had made a penalty also. White letter by dated 12th March 2020, petitioner had made a request to the respondent to supply a copy of the document. He was very quick and fiery. This is very good company, 120 crores. So when they visited, they asked for the copy of different document which you have taken away. Okay. White letter 16th June 2020. The GST department directed a petition to submit a voluminous document which include import and export of document of last 5 years, balance sheet of last 5 years, ITR return, copy of license registered from DGFT, details of bank account in India abroad. This is followed by another letter 17th July 2020, which was produced before the Annex 4 P4. Thereafter, white summons dated 20th July 2020 Annex P5, the respondent directed the petitioner to appear before superintendent on 28 July and to tender the statement. White later dated 21st July 2020, the petitioner submitted all the documents which were available with him and pointed out that a sum of rupees 39.15 lakh had been conditionally deposited, but the investigation be yet to be concluded. The petitioner further prayed to supply the documents along with Panchanama, white letter dated Panchanama. However, the respondent white summons 21st 21st September and 1st October summoned production manager other officer of the petitioner company. The petitioner made a detailed representation on 9th October and 12th October. The respondent issued the summons again on 21st December. Sahil Sharma, the business petition was searched again. Now again search taken place on 15th January 2021. Dr. Mr. Avatar Singh, director, was been taken away and detained on first at 1 a.m. He was asked. The respondent was being asked. There are three parties, out of which the supplier made are three entities were cancelled dealer. When I say about ITC, even if you have all document with 100 and thing, even that person is cancelled. We don't worry for that. We need to present that we're doing, but it should be absolutely genuine. There should be an invoice. There should be an e-way bill. There should be a supply of goods and services. If there is a supply of goods but no bill, supply of bill, but this is not there, it will not tolerate. You have to be, you will gone. Bill as well as goods, both should be there. Okay, because that is not allowed. In this case, they have said that there are all the three parties. whom they have said the supply entity was cancelled either. Thus, the pesticides were liable to pay for this entity. Okay. There's the petition where the IGST involved in respect of the aforesaid 3.77 crore. The IC, as per the IGST purchase of aforesaid 3 in the electronic pledge on 16 January 2021, 1.18 crore was lying. The response was postal director, the petitioner to issue to file DSC 3, which I've discussed in this thing. What is the lacuna here? DRC 4 were not issued by the department. Hence, court says that I make the full amount with interest at the rate of percent. How this case is framed and why I am going into details of section 73, 74. Each section I've called twice so that whenever this happens, this would always be at the rescue of you. This judgment is a wonderful judgment. On 15, there is one more judgment enterprise by Gujarat High Court, and it has been accepted to the department, and they have issued a circular that if there is a search and seizure on that place, you are not supposed to make a payment through DRC 1 3, and on the date of search, you just make the payment after the search is over. You make the payment next day. Further, they're saying that if you have any issue, there is a department uh, a proceeding grievance cell. You just make a grievance cell, and what court says, once you make a grievance cell, there would be a resolution proceeding, and the person who have come to your search and seizure would be liable for an action. And this has been time and again accepted by all high court, and the department also issued a circular. So Bhumi Enterprise judgment has been become a law of a land now. Judgment delivered by Bhargav Karia, sir, judge, High Court judge, is a wonderful judgment which you can use it for your purpose. Why on 15th January 2000, respondent get type, they come with a type letter, and as respondent got type statement of director of petitioner company to effect that he would not claim pending refund of over 1 crore. On the basis of statement, notice was issued under RFD 8 and was electronically issued on 16 January 2021. Reply was which was required in 15 days was filed on 16 January 21. The refund was rejected by RFD1. Now they are going on a different direction. They are issuing form and this they are going haywire. The RFD was rejected by RFD 06 on 17 January 2020. However, no attachment of order rejecting refunds was uploaded on portal. This is SOCOS notice. Whenever any demand is made against you, you are supposed to given a right of nature. This is an addition made to you for this credit, for this person, for this GSTR number, for this thing. And if there is no specific SOCOS notice is served to you, it is not an extra justice. This is liable to be quashed. And there are few more judgments. If it is not accepted at the this stage, at the assessment, at the apparent level, you are submitting, you are being given an option. But what court says, no, assessment at the assessment stage only the right to heard is given. If you go beyond that, it is not allowed. Now I am going again. Finally, wide letter dated 22nd January, say 22nd March 2021. The minister was informed that no separate regarding rejection of refund had passed. The refund has been rejected on the basis of RV 8 and 9. Thereafter, passage of wide letter dated 23rd March 2021 again asked the respondent to supply copy of document resumed on 1st March and January 21. Now, if you look at the way the petitioner has behaved, he has documented all things very well. So whenever you are appearing at the assessment stage, see that you are documenting everything perfectly. The petitioner, wide letter dated 24th, 23rd March 2021 and 25th March 2021 and 23rd January March 21, requested the respondent to refer a sum of 1.5 crore and 2.5 crore. The petitioner wide letter dated Khadija requested the respondent. इन्होंने क्या किया 1.15 crore and 2.30 crore you have taken, just give me back. In this back to the present petition will file seeking the rights of the respondent to refund 2.50 crore which has been taken without issuing SCN and passing an order DSC 3, DSC 4, DSC 5, DSC 6, DSC 1A, 1A Part 1, Part B. These are the things which I have discussed for the purpose of these things, that these are the important things we can make a case out of it. Upon the notice, written statement dated has been filed by the respondent. Along with the written statement, respondent placed on record a copy of Panjanama and list of now they have given. Learned counsel for the respondent has argued that the petitioner has voluntarily chosen to make payment for tax along with the penalty. The petitioner was called upon to provide information about input procured and final product. The petitioner did not heard the process. What is learned? Responded. What respondent says you have not done this. As per the information in the custom department, it was found that there is something fishy going on, misdeclared goods, quite illegal import of pesticide. The petitioner indulged in clandestine import. What they are saying, you are involved in this thing. But when it comes to the paper, he is providing the paper. During business intelligence fraud analysis, the party was found to be availing irregular input credit. In this backdrop, the premises of again was such. And then 16th March, January to 2021, the chartered accountant Shahid Sharma had made a statement that refund application will be withdrawn. What he's saying, he will withdrawn and the amount will be recredited to the ITC, which will immediately be reversed by the issues of DRC 3. What they said on 16 January, he made a statement and he has withdrawn it. On that day, he has ensured that submit the proof of the same to the register. What did the department say? This is the information. This is what this Shahid Sharma had made a statement. A copy of Panchnama was made available to them. While later, the 5th in November 2000, petitioner was asked to supply certain information, but no answer was given. A search was again conducted, qua issuing summons under Section 17. It again read that after conducting search on 15 January, amount of rupees 1.15 crore was reversed by DRC 3. By DRC 3. Okay. The director of the petitioner company has also undertaken to withdraw the refund application in lieu of liability to be qualified by anti-invasion tax. On the basis of statement RFD 8 was issued in response to which RFD 9 dated 16 January 2021 stating that the refund amount they want to deposit DRC 3. एक second. The petitioner, 1 minute, hold on. Yes, I'm back. Okay. Okay. Now I'm planning to conclude this case. Okay. RFD 9. When this case was taken up on 23rd March, 23rd February for hearing, the respondent informed the investigator was near completion. They were in the process of issuing SCN to the petitioner. When the High Court hearing was going on 23rd March, London Council that we are in the process of issuing SCN and complaint. A direction was given to the respondent to file an additional application to why DRC4 was not issued. Now, court says give an explanation why DRC4 was not issued. In compliance with order 23rd February, affidavit on 10th March was given by the respondent that petitioner was summoned on 24th February 2023, and to appear on 2nd March. And the petitioner was by email said that he is out of India, okay, and was not likely to return back for medical reason. Again, summons was issued on 2nd March. On 6th February, thereafter, the officer petitioner appeared. He sought an adjournment, and on the basis of adjournment, learned counsel for the respondent has preferred 746 CGST, which provides that the proper officer on receipt of it shall not serve under Section 1 in respect of the tax so paid, while referring Section 706 of CGST. The London correspondent said that in case of voluntary deposit of assessment towards the tax, no penalty shall be levied. Their argument was like this. After making a voluntary deposit, एक second, huh? After making voluntary deposit, if the amount is short of the amount actually payable, then they can proceed 73(1). Thereafter, 142, thereafter has referred, respondent has referred Section Rule 142, which provides that a question of issue of acknowledgement on DSC would come only when the assessee has discharged the liability toward tax, interest, and penalty. This is an argument. Okay, but DRC 4 is to be issued for the purpose of which he made a payment. Suppose to the extent which his payment of interest tax and covered, he should issue DRC 4. DRC 3 and DRC 3 is a acceptance of the demand, the position of the GST department. Once they issue this, they would issue the DRC for the rest of the amount. Whatever paid is to be minus. Here they have not considered. Upon issue of the system generated, which is an intermediate conclusion of proceeding. If DRC 4 would conclude to the extent if whole is completed. But if it is not, there will be again proceeding. So what this is, thereafter he has referred to Rule 142.2 for CGST, which provides that the question of issues of acknowledgement form they would come only when the assessor discharge all liability. Since in the present case the petitioner had made the entire amount of not made had made entire amount of DSC and no interest penalty was paid, there is no occasion to issue. He said what he said, he has paid the tax but not interest and penalty. Upon issue of the system that is which is independent control, since the proceeding was have not been completed, investigation DRC 4 was reviewed. He further said the department is likely to conduct the inquiry proceedings with SCN under section 74(1) within few days. Now what says court says no. The short question for consideration in this petition is whether the amount paid by the petitioner under section 16(1)(21) could be retained by the without issuing so-called notice under section, and that too after an expiry period of 2 years. What says very simple question. You have collected a payment under DRC 3. What is 74? Let us read 74(1), where it appears to the property that any tax has not been paid or short paid unless is refunded. He shall serve a notice upon the person chargeable to has not been so paid, wrongly availed, requiring as to why request to him to why he should not pay the amount specified in the notice along with interest under section 50 and the penalty equivalent to that amount. Can I read it again? In case of fraud, misstatement, or willful suppression of fact, where it appears to the proper officer that any tax has been this thing, he shall serve a notice to the person chargeable with tax which has not been so paid or this thing utilized, requiring him to cause as to why he should not pay the amount specified in the notice along with interest and penalty. The short question for considering this petition is whether the amount paid under section 16 January be retained by the department without issuing so-called notice. They have not issued these things. What is the proceeding which I have said? They have not issued DRC 1A notice, 01A notice. Let us go there. What court says? 1 second, I am going into exactly. What court says they have not issued DS Part A of DSC 1, 01A. They have not taken DSC 1, DSC 4. What is the fault here? Part A of DSC 01, as per Rule 142 1A, communicate to the discrepancy. They have not issued anything, and they have not issued DSC 4. They are just going on ad valorem. Hence, court says, so in spite of all these things, what court says, okay, short question. What is 74.1? 74.1 says they should issue a DSC 101A. Is not issued. Hence, after the expiry of they can put the money? No. At a perusal of Section 74 CGST shows that if any person chargeable to tax wants to pay the amount of tax along with the interest before service of notice under Section 71 on his own asset and such tax or tax ascertained by the proper officer, then he can deposit the tax along with the interest and inform the officer in writing of such payment. A perusal of 74.5 shows that if any person chargeable to tax wants to pay the amount of tax along with interest before the service of notice on his own ascertainment or tax, then he can deposit a tax with interest in DSC 3. As per Section 74.6, the professor on receipt of such shall not serve a notice. Whatever amount he has paid, statement, he will not issue notice under SCA. In respect tax or paid a penalty. As per Section 74.7, if payment falls short of the actual amount, he shall proceed to issue SCM. 74.8 further provide that where any person chargeable pays with interest equal to 25%, such pays within 30 days. As per Section properly after considering the representation made by the testing, he will this thing. So the above provision has been examined by the Delhi High Court in the case of Vallabh Textile, senior intelligence officer versus this thing. In that case, Delhi High Court, after examining the issue whether 1.8 crore deposit on behalf of it during the search proceeding carried out, Section 2 and 7 is the question for consideration was whether the said deposit was voluntary act or not. During the search proceedings, an officer of the company was detained for several hours. This is the case of Vallabh Textile, which I have already discussed, which I have already mentioned. Proceeding, an officer of the company was detained for several hours, was allowed to do only when he appended the signature of the document. Delhi High Court examining the provision of section along with Rule 142 subsidies. Court examined the government instruction on 25th 5 2022 issued by High Court. CBIC with respect of this thing. The instructions were issued keeping in mind, in view of the observation of Gujarat High Court and Bhumi Association versus Union of India. As per said, it said no recovery of tax should be made during such inspection and which unless it is voluntary. As per the judgment passed by Bhumi Associates, even if SSC wants to make a voluntary payment in the prescribed form GRC 3, he should be advised to file the same the day after the search has been concluded. The above instruction observations have been made so that unnecessary harassment is caused to the SSA. Delhi High Court, while allowing the textile case, has observed that the deposit of tax made by the SSA during search was not voluntary and it is without following the provision of Section 74. The respondent was directed to return the money at the rate of 6% till the payment. Modern textile, they have referred Bhumi textile, they have referred Vallabh. This is how this case was. Vallabh textile. So now this is concluded. Now I am going into another case. Now I think I would take the last case because this is this is uh, a very simple case. But let me discuss that before going into this case. SR Construction, High Court. But before that, why I've taken this taken because what is block credit and how it is operated and what are the exclusions which you once you read it will be covered. Okay, so before going into section and then into judgment, What was the case in this SR construction? A hotel was built. Okay? A hotel was built, and say for example, say 10 crore. So he has given a construction work to SR construction. Hotel Agartala Hotel given a work to SR construction. SR construction has given a work to A B C D E for material, labor, works contract, architect, interior, and everything. 100 18. Okay. And what they've said is SR construction has purchased, has provided services of this thing, and he has supplied this to Agartala Hotel. Okay. Now they say that SR construction ITC credit was disallowed. The case is like this. But when for that I will all the section to conclude and to understand, to make you understand that how this ITC is, how ITC is block credit, what is proportionate credit. I have covered this this for the purpose of this, so that you can understand things very easily. Okay, that is the main purpose of my plea to make things very easy for you. First, I'll give you the slides which I downloaded from different sites. One, I purchase a goods, services, both, either both, and I use for business purpose and I use for personal purpose, not business purpose. Give an example. I bought a laptop which I paid say 1 lakh. I paid 18% GST and 118, and 50% of that is used by my son who is studying in interior architect. Okay, and for that, so 50% of this I'm not using the purpose, so 9,000 would be disallowed. Eligibility would be up to rupees 9,000. Now I again going. Now GST input tax. What are the tax? Tax for outward supply and exempt supply. Tax outward supply including zero rated product. So suppose example, I purchase a goods of input tax rate of 300. Out of that 100 is for exempt supply. So 200, so my GST credit to the extent one third will not be eligible for ITC. Okay. Now exempt supply would include RCM and other things which we need to add. So input tax credit to that extent would be proportionately disallowed. Clear? Yes. Now here wholly attributable taxable supply 100%, proportionally attributable supply this much, wholly attributable exempt supply cannot take a credit. These are the things on which there is a block credit. One is motor vehicle and other conveyance, food and beverage, membership fee of health club, rent a cab, life insurance, travel benefit extended to employee on vacation such as leave travel concession, works contract services on supply for construction of an immovable property. Here I have gone into next slide also. The whole judgment is works contract services when supplied for construction of an immovable property. Suppose I am buying an immovable property. I am I am a CA. I made a land, I purchased a land. I purchased an office for the purpose of making office. I buy an immobile property. I make a construction. To whatever construction, I will not be entitled because I'm the end user for capital goods. But for the purpose of that, somebody I've given a contract to A, which I already is examined as per SR construction. And once you go through this section, you will be very clear what is pending, what is not pending. This is the way this section I have covered. Goods and services for acceptable for construction, goods and services both for which tax has been paid under section 10. Under section 10 means composite scheme. Those who have used from composite scheme, you will not be entitled. Suppose I am making a payment to a person who has used a composition scheme. For that, whatever tax I have paid at the rate of adorability, I will not be entitled to ITC. Goods and services both received by non-resident taxable person except on goods imported by him. Goods and services both received by non-resident. So I am using the service of a non-resident. I paid 118. So he has provided services. This will not be available to me, except that goods are imported to me. Goods to services for personal consumption. I am using for personal. If laptop I am using for personal purpose, my mobile I am using for personal purpose. A goods lost, stolen, destroyed, disposed of by way of a gift, by the way of gift or free samples. Any tax paid in accordance with 74. 74 means suppression. 129 means seizure, search and seizure. 74. I am 129 means detention and seizure, detention, seizure, and release of conveyance or in transit. 130 confiscation of good or conveyance of levy of penalty. 129. When I am doing this, this will not be available for, this will be considered as a block credit. Now, this slide is for the purpose of works contract service. Works contract construction. Construction includes works contract services. I am giving a works contract services for the construction my house, reconstruction, addition, renovation, repair, and alteration. These services may be for the purpose of land or building, immobile property, or plant and machinery. If it is for immobile property, includes land and building, civil construction, telecom towers, pipeline laid outside the factory premises. For plant and machinery include apparatus, equipment, machinery, foundation structure and structure. For further service of contract, ITC is admissible. Suppose the ether construction, it was available because his purpose is not to use for his own purpose, but he is selling it, he is using for other purpose. So he is just a mediator. In that case, ITC is admissible. But if at the end of the day, in my books of accounting, I am capitalized, then it will be inadmissible. Otherwise, it would be expense out in the either side because it is a purchase and sales. It would be expense out. Capitalized in the books. Plant and machinery allowed. Expenses allowed for further this thing. Admissible. So clear. This is the thing. Now I am going into this section because this is SR construction and people are making most of the time mistake here only. That's why I have taken the case here. This is my last slide, last presentation, last judgment. Then I'll go to other judgment later on. Where the goods or services both are used by registered person. This is one thing. Registered person partly for, so suppose the example, I give an example of a laptop, 50% not allowed. Where goods or services both used by registered partly for effective taxable supply, including 0%. Suppose I am using this, say 100 rupees for exempt supply and 100, suppose 300, 200 for taxable supply, including 0, and 100 for exempt supply. So my 200 for 0 for taxable, 100 for exempt, proportionately would be disallowed. 1/3 because it is exempt. Now exempt includes the value exempt supply includes such as may be prescription include the receiver is liable for RCA, including the transaction and security, sale of a land, and subject to clause 5 of paragraph 3, schedule 3, 2 for sale of building. What is the provision here? When I am buying a building, suppose I am buying a building, I paid to the builder before you BU permission or first use permission is received, and I received the consideration whole before that, then this will not be allowed. It will not be exempt. But if it is an exempt supply, when let me go again. I bought a building, bought a commercial property. Say for example, an office. I made a payment after permission. I made a first use, and then I make the whole payment. Then it will be exempt, not liable for GST. But if I make a payment before BU permission, and then after BU permission also I make some payment, still I have to make a payment of all. Clear? This is I have explained in detail. Schedule 5, paragraph B. I've downloaded this in Schedule 2, paragraph 5, clause B. For the purpose of value of exam shall not include the value of activity transaction. The value of activity transaction specified in paragraph 5 of the schedule 3 and paragraph 7 of this thing, which is already 8A, which I am going to explain. Banking company. When a banking company is using the input credit, banking company, financial company which are accepting deposit, whatever ITC is there, it would be allowed 50/50 on the basis of decision taken by them. Notwithstanding any containing subsection 16(1) and 18(1), input tax credit shall not be able in respect of the following works contract. I have not described all A, B, C, D, E. I have government rule direct. Notwithstanding anything contained in section 16(1). 16(1) is a block credit and subsection proportionate and subsection 1 of 18 input shall not be able in respect of following works contract service when supplied for construction of immovable property except input for further supply. This is the case of SR construction. He supplied, which is the slide which I have presented. Okay, clear? As I am using office for my purpose in constructing, but I have given it to SR construction, and because he is supplying to me, he would be entitled for ITC. What is Schedule 3, which I am explaining? Schedule 3, Section 7. Activity totality shall be treated neither as a supply nor goods as supply. For example, service by an employer, tribunal, member of parliament, duties performed during this constitution, duties by the chairperson, the director, a service and funeral, sale of a land subject to sale of land would not be considered as a transaction. Section 6. Activities or transactions shall not be treated as a supply or nor a supply of services. Okay, clear? Funeral, sale of land, subject to clause 5, paragraph 5, subject to clause B, paragraph 5, schedule 3, sale of building, externable claim, supply of goods from the non-taxable to another person. Okay. Now, sale of a land and subject to clause schedule 2. Schedule 2 I am going, which I have already explained that when you sell a good, sell a property after the BU permission and consider it after then, it will not be considered as a, as a transaction of goods or services, which is here explained. Okay. Activities or transaction shall be treated as neither sale or supply in case of supply of goods by consignee to another person by endorsement of goods after being dispatched part of this thing. Transfer. Following activities will be treated as supply for goods and services. Transfer. Transfer of goods of title, transfer of goods of title without the transfer of title, transfer of goods. Transfer of title, transfer of goods, transfer of goods and agreement for a future consideration. Now I'm here I want to explain the section 5 only. Rule 5, supply of services. The construction complex, building or civil structure or part thereof, including a complex or building, intended for a sale to a buyer wholly except when the entire consideration of compulsion will be required the competent authority. When in cities there are municipalities, but at certain places there is no view permission, then architect certificate would be sufficient. This is a fact of the case. SR Construction versus Union of India, Judgment 150, Taxman 75. There is a work contract, the process of procured material, and this is already explained in detail. In SR Construction, the the ITC paid to him is disallowed, and the judgment says it is allowed. I'm not going to this. This would be available. This Chotulal versus Union of India. I will take the next time because time is running out. As 47 minutes have come, I'm concluding. I'm next session next Friday. I'll continue with other judgment. It will start for 148 Taxman, Mumbai. With this, I'm concluding here.